Hey, Gopher fans, Mike Grimm with you from Gopher Radio and GopherSports.com. It's time for another edition of Gopher Talk. It's presented by Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, committed to the safety of their employees, their members, and communities during this time. You can learn more at affinityplus.org. And Ona Loper from Women's Gymnastics is our guest here on this edition of Gopher Talk. And Ona, first of all, good to see you.
Nice to see you. And thank you for
Well,
having me.
yeah, we want to talk about women's gymnastics. The schedule is out, and after not sure where this whole academic year and athletic year would take us, how good does it feel to have some dates on the calendar and some meets on the schedule?
Very, very exciting. When we found out we got our schedule, we were all super excited. Just allows us to push a little bit harder and just know that a season is actually going to happen. So we're really excited about it.
What has the off period been like for you? Obviously, the trapdoor fell out in the spring. It was such a heartbreaker because you had the sellout with Oklahoma set, and then tournament time was right there, and it all just kind of disappeared. And then you had to pick yourself up off the mat, figuratively, I suppose, and literally a little bit. What was that time like? And then how has it been to cope with it? And now get, I guess, new life here, for lack of a better term.
It was definitely strange having such a long time off between doing so well at the end of season to pretty much not doing gymnastics for over 2 months. So it was definitely a hard transition. And I think we were all a bit frustrated just with how it ended. But we realized that safety was the most important thing. So I think that was kind of a good thing to keep in mind just throughout it. And I think that got us through it. And then coming back, it was obviously super exciting just to be back with the team and the girls. Felt like it had been super long, so it was super nice. And it was kind of crazy though. We kind of just jumped right back into it, and it felt like normal. So that was really nice that we were able to just kind of pick up where we left off. And we've kind of just been having that mentality that we have unfinished business to do. Last year wasn't how we wanted it to end, so this year we're gonna make it as successful as possible.
You guys certainly were one of the top teams in the conference and one of the top teams in the country. How does the outlook for this season, how do you like it? What is it? Are you going to, again, be one of those top handful of teams, you think?
Oh yeah, we definitely have some amazing incoming freshmen and just some super strong athletes. So we're super excited, and we're just going to take it one meet at a time and kind of just enjoy the process and see where we go.
Obviously, there's some, new things, some adjustments that everyone has had to make. What has it been like for you and your teammates to have to, do testing and have to, at times, social distance and be isolated and not maybe hang out with other students that you normally would? How weird has that been, and how have you been able to, to cope with that kind of stuff?
It's been a little bit strange, but I think after the first few weeks, we kind of realized that our ultimate goal was just to do as well as we could and stay as healthy as possible. So if that meant sacrificing a couple things, then that's what we would do. So kind of set some standards to make sure that everyone kind of had a plan for how we were going to stay safe. And I think we've done a really good job at following that. So it hasn't been too terrible.
As you got back into the gym, what were some things you personally wanted to work on, and how has that progression been, and what kind of impact are you hoping to have on the team here?
So mainly I just wanted to make sure I could get all my skills back after being out for so long, but not a ton of upgrades this year, kind of just wanting to stay healthy and make sure my body can make it through season. But hoping to do all around again. And so I'm really excited about that. And last year was kind of I guess you could say, my like breakout year with all around. So hoping to kind of build off of that again for this year.
Yeah, great. And then as you got into the gym, and you mentioned there's some newcomers, and of course the athletes that were on this team last year. It's an interesting sport because it's mostly individual, but yet there's a team score that's kept as well. So is there a chemistry that's important, even though what you do is all necessarily about you per se, but there's also that team aspect?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we build off each other's energy. So one person sticks, next person sticks. It kind of just um, builds off of that. So definitely it's individual, but at the same time, when you have all these girls supporting you and knowing that they trust you and know that you're going to do well, it gives you way more confidence to do well.
Now that you look at the schedule, which by the way opens Saturday, January 16th, it's a home meet against the rival Iowa Hawkeyes, and it looks like you have a home and home with them. You'll also go to Iowa City. What's the schedule look like, and what are the goals as you look at the schedule and look forward into the season?
Again, like I think we're just gonna take it meet by meet and see how it goes. Obviously, we want to be able to attend every meet, so make sure that everyone just stays healthy and make sure all the protocols are being followed. And yeah, we'll just take it one meet at a time and see where we go.
Right. No doubt. That's the approach in today's time. That's for sure. Um,
Mhm.
Wanted to ask you too on a little bit about some of your community service efforts, both you and your teammates, and why it's important. And we've been kind of hitting on that at this time of year, especially. And with the pandemic, it's, I suppose, been hard to do a lot of in-person impactful things, but there are other ways to go about it. So, how have you and your teammates been trying to stay active in that approach?
Yes, it definitely has been a bit more difficult, just getting hands-on like involved, but I know actually this Friday we're gonna do some tie blankets and give them to the children's hospital, I think. So that's one thing that we've been doing or am planning on doing. And then me personally, I started working at the Minnesota Department of Health. And so I felt like this was probably the best time to finally get involved with that kind of work. So I do pregnancy surveillance for MDH with like based on COVID. So pretty much just tracking COVID cases and seeing how the outcomes and seeing if there's any like relationship between infant issues and like COVID. So yeah.
Also, some research that and numbers that you can put certainly to use. Tell us about your major and what you'd like to do with that major down the road.
So I'm actually in graduate school right now for epidemiology. And so my main interest is research. I'm not exactly sure the specific type. I've been getting obviously more interested in infectious diseases, as everyone is probably right now. But I also am really interested in cancer. So I'm just kind of looking at the different options and then gonna kind of narrow it down as I go through grad school.
Wow, and what a time! I mean, if you're involved with epidemiologists and medicine and those kind of things, I mean, this is as a bummer as it is, from a health and public standpoint, I would think from a research standpoint, there's some, I don't want to say excitement, but there has to be some excitement in what kind of impact you can have in researching and trying to make advances with this, right? I'm sure you're monitoring a lot of things.
Yes, definitely. Definitely having a real world experience, I guess, with a pandemic, definitely wants you to get more involved and just learn more about everything that's happening in today's world.
Well, very good. Well, we're excited that the season is set to go. I know you're excited as well. We'll look forward to maybe getting a chance to chat again. And best of luck with the women's gymnastics season that gets underway here on the 16th of January.
Thank you.
All right, very good. That is our Gopher Talk. It's Ona Loper from Women's Gymnastics. Gopher Talk is presented by Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. So long, Gopher fans.